Hello and welcome back to Let's Play the Temple of Elemental Evil. When we last left off, Lucien, our bard, had just completed a whirlwind romance with the very, very young farmer's daughter, Melanie, and he had been gifted with a radiant longsword as a dowry. So we have to get that identified. About the girl, Melanie, if you want to call this a romance, this is as far as it goes. You know, there aren't going to be any scantily clad cutscenes or anything. This is not, you know, Dragon Age or what have you. Thank God. But you can take her into the party, and I think all you have to do is just talk to her, and she'll agree to come along. So.
Hooray! Daddy agreed to let us marry. I'm so glad to be with you now. I'm ready for great adventures with you, love.
I will be glad to have you by my side, Melanie. And now she's in the party, and you can control her just like any other party member. She is apparently of the marital philosophy of having separate bank accounts, because she will still take a share of the loot, even though she's married to one of the party members. She gains experience just like any other party member. She starts with 0. She's a level 1. She's a druid. It doesn't show that, but if you go to her spell selection, you can see that she has druidic spells. You'll be able to see your statistics, I think, as soon as she levels up once. They're not very good. Like I said, most of the NPCs in this game are somewhat weak, so we don't want to put her in danger, so we'll just leave her safe in her father's house.
I'm on it.
Oh, actually, okay. We want her new husband to tell her to stay at home.
What is it, my love?
Alright, I think it will be safer for you if you wait for me here in Hommlet. I'll come back for you as soon as I can.
I understand. Although I will be sad to miss out on this adventure with you, I know we will have a lifetime of adventures together. Come back soon, and be safe.
Farewell. I will return. Well, that's going to be a pretty generous definition of shortly, but I will return shortly for you. Alright.
As you command.
Onward. Alright. Now we have to take care of the problem with the tailor who wants to be let into the militia but feels that he's being discriminated against because of his height. I think he's a halfling or gnome or something to that effect. Anyway, we have to go talk to the guard captain. And for whatever reason, the guard captain, I think, only appears at night. It's been several years since I last played this game, so there are a lot of things that I'm still rusty on. I think this is the guard captain's
Yes, sir.
house, though. So let's go talk to him. Yes, alright, this should be him. Alright. Yes, what is it? Hello, sir. I'm Lucien. Well met, Lucien. My name is Roth Renton. Renton, you say. Jennerth the tailor tells me, that you are the captain of the local militia. Aye, but I'm just an old farmer. I mostly answer to Rufus nowadays, on most things, that is. Does that include keeping Jennerth from serving in the militia? Well now, that Jennerth business was my decision. We need to defend the town from orcs and such, not offer to sew on their buttons. Jennerth is a nice fellow and all, but he's just not the man we need for the post. And then we have the option to use a couple of dialogue skills. This would be bluff, and this would be diplomacy, so, yeah, let's get him into the militia by agreeing on his behalf to have him make uniforms for him. So what if Jennerth made uniforms for all the men in the militia? That's a right good idea, son. I'd certainly let him in for doing that. Alright, so now we can go tell Jennerth the good news.
Okay.
That he's going to have to make uniforms for the entire town militia. That's the stipulation on his getting in. So let's go quickly tell him about it. Just fast travel. Save a little bit of time. Oh, you know, damn was another quest down there that I could have gotten that would actually lead to some combat. If you remember, Melanie mentioned that she liked to play in the Declo Grove.
I'm off.
There was a guy down near the militia captain's house that would send you to the Declo Grove to clear it out. So that's actually going to involve combat. So I'm gonna go pick that up. Let's just tell Jennerth the good news, though. Greetings. You better start sewing, Jennerth. What are you talking about? What's sewing? I told Captain Renton you'd make uniforms for all of the militiamen. You what? Are you crazy? He begins to shout, although I'm not actually going to shout. Do you know how many uniforms that is? I don't have that kind of money. I'm ruined. Hey, I got what you wanted. He stops and looks pensive. Yeah, I guess you did. He grins. Wow, it just hit me. I'm in the militia. Yeah, enjoy that. Have fun with that. Thanks. I think I'll write my mother and tell her the good news. Great. So we've gotten him into the militia and yet kept him emasculated by ensuring that he'll spend his time mending the undergarments of the guardsmen. Alright. Now before we continue on, we have to get the sword that was given to Lucian as a dowry identified. So let's get the blacksmith to take care of that. Here it is, okay. Identification. And it is a holy longsword +1. Holy means that it will do an additional, I think, 1 to 6 or 1 to 8 damage against evil creatures. That's the best sort of damaging property that can be attached to a weapon in this game. I mean, you know, the fucking game is called the Temple of Elemental Evil, not the Temple of, you know, apathetic neutrality or what have you. So this is a really good weapon, and we're going to give it to the fighter because she's going to specialize in long swords. And you can see if we sold it back, it would sell for, you know, 11,000 gold. But we're going to keep that, and we're going to give this long sword to the priest and just let him hang on to the light mace. I actually did look up, just to satisfy my own curiosity, the material component that the 100 gold represents for identification is, in the pen and paper game, the spellcaster was required to crush a pearl and stir it into a goblet of wine using an owl's feather, and then the spellcaster had to consume that before casting the spell. So it's a hell of a lot easier just to have 100 gold deducted from your account, rather than have to gather material components and go through that whole tedious process. Anyway, before we go down and get the quest to go clear out the Declo Grove, I think that's going to be... I think we've done pretty much everything else. I'm sorry to say there are a few more quests in Hommlet to do after we clear out the Declo Grove. Anyway, now is probably a good time to level up, rest up, and get new spells and all of that business. Alright, leveling up. So I'm going to go ahead and save here. Just mark that as level 2. One of the quirks of this game is that the quick save doesn't always work. It can actually corrupt your saves. So you have to pretty much just save normally. Normally in a game I would quick save every minute or so. I just constantly mash that button just out of habit, but in this game it can cause big problems. Anyway, so leveling up. Let's just do it for each character. So you can see that you're not, once you choose a class, you're not required to take every level in that class. You can multi-class. However, for these characters, I'm probably just going to keep them single-classed. Every time you level up, you get additional, sometimes you can get a stat. That's you get an additional point to put into your stats. That's every 4 levels. Sometimes you get new features. Every level you'll get new points to put in skills. Every 3 or so levels you get a new feat. You get new spells just about every level if your character's a spellcaster. You also get additional hit points. Because the rolling of hit points is random and sometimes a character can just get 1 hit point, I'm going to go through the level up process just to show you what skills and feats and spells I take, just because that's the sort of thing that would interest me. I'm actually going to do the leveling up off screen just so I can ensure that each character gets a decent amount of hit points each level. So let's go ahead and level up Lucian Bard. So he gets skills. His skills are, you can take any you want. I'm just going to raise the ones that he already took. So use magic device, sense motive, perform, open locks. I had put a couple of points into that, and notice it's a cross-class skill, so he only gets a half a point. Gather information, diplomacy, concentration, bluff, and appraise. Alright, spells. Give him detect magic, and he gets a couple of level 1 spells. He's going to focus mainly on enchantment spells. So we're going to take Charm Person and Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Alright. Yeah, and he actually rolled a 1. He started off with 8, rolled a 1, and then got an additional 2 for his constitution. So that was a pretty crappy roll. So that's the reason I'm going to do the actual leveling up off screen. Alright, Catriona, the fighter. We'll just give her another level in fighter. Her skills, as a fighter, she doesn't have many. Intimidate, listen, spot, and tumble. Feats. Fighters get a lot of feats. Now, I had already given her improved initiative, and this is a pretty good one for a turn-based game because it gives the character a pretty sizable bonus to his or her role, which determines where he'll act in combat. So any character with improved initiative has a heightened chance to move earlier in the combat or attack earlier or what have you. That's generally good. I'd also given her power attack and weapon focus longsword. For this one I'm going to take Cleave, which grants the character an additional attack on a nearby opponent after killing an opponent. That's really, really good to have. The Cleric, let's see, Evelio, so we're going to give him another level in Cleric. His skills, Spot, Survival, if I can, I guess I can't take that for whatever, no, I can't take that. Heal, Concentration, and we've got one additional one. I don't know why I can't spend that on Survival. Anyway, we'll give him a point in Spellcraft. What the hell? Okay, he's going to have some different spells. The Sorceress, Inera. I've given her Spot, Spellcraft, Search, because she's the only character with it. Listen, and Concentration. Spells. Alright, she just gets a level 1 spell. Let's give her, it doesn't really matter, open, close, I guess. Alright, and the other fighter, Corin, pretty much the same as the previous fighter. I think they have the same skills. Yeah, okay, and he had the same feats as the other fighter. The only difference is he's going to be focusing on Great Sword. So let's go ahead and give him Cleave also. Alright, so that's the level up process. When we come back, I will have all of these characters actually leveled, since some of the rolls were really bad. We'll rest up, go down, collect the quest for Declo Grove, head out there, slaughter stuff, and the fun will continue. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned.